else.
Separating the U.S. from Mexico is a border that runs for nearly 2,000 miles. However, barely a quarter of that is actually protected by a wall. Just 580 miles of the border is secured with a physical barrier, and much of that is nothing more than a small chain-link fence. That leaves almost 1,500 miles of America's southern border wide open for literally anyone to come across. And without protection, that's exactly what happens. According to the U.S. Border Patrol, hundreds of thousands of unauthorized migrants are captured at the border every single year. And that's to say nothing of the tens of thousands of illegal cargo entries they bring with them, including drugs and deadly weapons. Yet politicians like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi put their opinions above these facts, refusing to recognize the potential threat these unauthorized migrants pose to American citizens. They go on to claim there's no evidence to suggest that these migrants mean us any harm, and state, for the record, there are no terrorists coming across U.S. borders. But again, facts completely contradict their opinions. According to the Department of Homeland Security, from 2006 to 2015, a 9-year period, over 67,000 migrants from countries considered state sponsors of terrorism were apprehended at the southern border. These are migrants from Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, Yemen, India, Sudan, Egypt, and Pakistan, all captured trying to illegally cross into the United States. Since 2001, at least 15 members of terrorist groups, from al-Shabaab to al-Qaeda to the Islamic State, have all been stopped trying to illegally enter into the U.S. In 2015 alone, the Border Patrol arrested 4,000 people from countries classified as state sponsors of terrorism. Last year, in 2017, 3,800 known or suspected terrorists were arrested at the border. Not only that, but agents captured another 18,000 known criminals as well as 1,000 gang members. Drug dealers are captured too. On December 11th, $7 million worth of methamphetamines were seized at the southern border in Texas. Without our border protection, those are drugs that would now be in American communities. And these are just the cases we know about. Agents admit thousands of aliens managed to sneak through without being caught. Worse, once they're in, there's no way of knowing who they are or what they're doing here. In fact, one human smuggler who was detained even admitted that he knew he was helping to smuggle Islamic jihadists into America. One case involved a man from Somalia who was illegally smuggled into California, arrested, skipped his bond, and snuck into Canada, where he went on to stab a police officer and run down pedestrians in 2017. When President Trump famously said they aren't sending their best, he wasn't kidding. Yet many news outlets continue to insist there's no evidence that anyone from the Middle East is coming through the southern border. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are 86.4 million immigrants and immigrant-born children in the United States. That's nearly a quarter of the entire U.S. population. Not only that, but between 25 and 37 million of those are here illegally, meaning 1/3 of all the immigrants in America are illegal aliens. Worse still, the Census Bureau also found that a shocking 63% of all those immigrants receive welfare. Despite Democrats' claim that immigrants make America stronger and contribute to their communities, there's over 54 million people who come to the United States just to end up on welfare. And after 10 years, that number rises to more than 70%, which shows that once migrants get onto welfare, they don't get off. Ultimately, we have ample proof that terrorists, drug dealers, rapists, and gang members are trying to break into the United States, but our politicians still refuse to act. Nancy Pelosi says there is no problem and that no one dangerous is coming to America. But where is she getting her facts? Where are her numbers coming from? Because the very people who would know, the Border Patrol agents actually at the border, the men and women who risk their lives, who aren't safe back in Washington, and who see the people who are illegally coming across the border every day, say the situation there is terrible. And they warn that with the lack of current border security and the inability to stop them from coming across, these aliens do pose a serious and ongoing threat to America's safety. Pearson Sharp, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly